Educational GMAT. Your partner in your GMAT journey.
Right. So obviously, this is the conclusion. Yes, friends.
C.
All
Charlie.
right. Okay. Okay. All right. I hope you guys are now clear in terms of what the argument is saying. Okay. Let us consider this scenario. Let's consider these two scenarios, guys. Suppose that the total uranium availability on land is 10 tons. Availability in seawater, uranium availability in seawater is 20 tons. And let us say this is the total demand of humanity. So humanity needs a total of 9 tons of uranium. In this case, guys, in this case, tell me, will anyone extract uranium from sea?
No,
No. Why not?
because the availability of land is sufficient to meet the demand.
Absolutely. Because the entire demand of humanity is being met by the uranium availability on land. So why would anyone go and opt for the much more expensive option of extracting uranium from seawater? So no one will ever go to sea. All right. On the other hand, if this is the case, total availability on land is 10 tons. Total availability of uranium in seawater is 20. And let us say total demand of humanity is 19 tons of uranium. In this case, what is the only option?
Going to the seawater.
Absolutely. In this case, you have to go to the seawater irrespective of how costly it is to extract uranium from seawater. What was the argument concluding, by the way? That no one would ever go to seawater for extraction. Before we can conclude that, what do we have to find out? And that's exactly what Alpha is saying. Whether the uranium in deposits on land is rapidly being depleted. If the answer to this is yes, in that case, the conclusion is weakened. Do you agree? Because if uranium in land is being depleted, then irrespective of the cost, you have to go to the seawater for extraction. On the other hand, if we answer this as no, which means the uranium in deposits on land is not getting depleted, which means what? That we have sufficient uranium available on land. In this case, the conclusion is completely valid that no one will go to seawater unless the cost of extracting uranium from seawater can be reduced. So again, what's happening? Providing two mutually opposite answers to alpha is giving us two mutually opposite conclusions. All right. Okay. Charlie Why Charlie is something that definitely is quite a prominent answer from students. Why is Charlie, however, not the right answer choice? If you look at it, this is just an extension of the conclusion. It already accepts that the conclusion is true. And then it says, given that this conclusion is true, tell me whether there are any technological advances that show promise of reducing the cost. The point about evaluate the argument, however, is that we are actually not even accepting this as true. We are saying that
Okay.
before we conclude this, we need to know the answer to this question, because
Got
knowing the answer to this question would either strengthen or weaken the conclusion.